Awesome. Well, you guys, there's going to be a handout. I just want you guys to be excited about the handout because this is the first time that I've ever given a handout out at that meeting. So I will let you guys know on this handout. I know you guys like want to like read it, go through it, do whatever you want to do with it, have a baby. I don't know. But I want you guys to know this, that if you guys pay attention to what I'm teaching you, you'll get to put a lot of ad libs and little things in there that it's going to help you even more with the talk that I'm going to give. Okay. So the talk that we're going to be talking about is pain points. One of the things that I want you guys to know is that I am a big believer in scripts. Okay. I've heard some people say, oh, you don't need to do scripts, just go on the fly. Go on the fly and you'll find out, just like your service calls, you do very badly at it. Okay. The thing is that for me is that if you have your scripts down and you can do it just like verbatim, like some people say, like a robot. Um, this is the part that's going to help with your scripts. Okay, this is the mastery level stuff that I'm going to give you so that your scripts don't sound robotic. It actually sounds like you have a heart and that you're actually breathing and that you do believe that people should own Cutco, right? Because when we're in the trenches, sometimes what happens is we're so focused on selling that we forget that the person that's across from us is a human. They're not a robot, just like we are, right? So we're going to be going over that today. So pain points. This is something that is a negative problem that can usually turn into a positive if you have the right solutions, right? And with Cutco, what we do is that sometimes we don't identify those problems so that we can solve them with the customer. Because a lot of times customers don't even know they're having a problem, right? How many of you guys get that customer that has a trimmer and they're like, oh, I love this knife. I use it for everything. It's the best thing ever. I don't need any other Cutco because that knife does it all, right? All of our customers. Mrs. Jones, that's not good. Like, that's a problem, right? You shouldn't be addicted to that. You should be addicted to this, right? So what we do is that I wrote down here, make a problem and then solve it. Okay. As Cutco reps, selling 101, if you want to sell more Cutco, the first thing you have to do is you have to create a problem, right, for that customer to want to buy something from you. So as we're going through these pain points, it's very obvious that what I'm doing is I'm causing a problem so that I can create a reaction, so that I can sell something to that customer. And that's what we're going to go over today. And I hope that you guys are excited about it, because in this handout has verbatim pain points that are a must if you're doing any kind of program or any kind of thing that we're going to go over. So the first thing I have here is suggestive versus assumptive. Okay. With Cutco, what we're taught is we're taught to suggest things to customers, right? That's called selling, right? We suggest. But the thing that you should be doing is you should assume that when you suggest something that customer is going to buy it. And we don't do that enough in Cutco. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you these pain points so that when you suggest something, you can already assume that they're going to buy it, because you're going to put them in that position where they have to buy it, right? Fix the problem, Mrs. Jones. So I have here, identifying the solutions can be very tricky because, like I said, most of the time customers, they're like, I'm good. I have everything. I don't need anything. How many of you guys have gone over to a customer's house? They have an ultimate set, they have cookware, and they have flatware. And then you're sitting here going, okay, how am I going to sell something to this customer? Okay, it happens. So what we have to do is create a problem so that they have to buy something when they're at that service call, right? Family program, business gifts, whatever it is. We'll go over that. Okay, first thing is, are you a consumer? Are you a customer? Okay, this is very important so that you guys can identify how to do pain points. You got to remember that if you don't think like a customer, okay, so if you don't think like the customer's thinking, you're not going to sell something, because the customer doesn't know what we're trying to say to them if we don't properly say it correctly. Does that make sense? So think as if you're a customer. Would you buy from yourself? If you're struggling to sell, that means there's a problem. That means either your approach is a problem or your attitude is a problem. Okay? I sell a lot because my attitude is never a problem. okay? That just means that customer doesn't understand what I'm doing, right? So it goes back to think like the customer. So pain points work if you explain the pain point properly to the customer. Now, you have to use your own stories, right? I put on here, be real, be authentic. Okay, so put that down, be real and authentic. If you're gonna give them a story, it has to be real. Okay, you can't say, yeah, this unicorn bought Cutco and it was amazing, right? People can see right through the BS, right? You're a salesman. People don't believe anyone that sells anything, right? But if you act like a customer and you tell them a story about how you consumed it or you used it, then it becomes more powerful because then they know you're a human, you're not just selling it. Because you can say, well, yes, I use the product as well, so I know for a fact that this works. Then your customer believes you. So we have two things that we're going to go over. We're going to go over new customers in the new customer script. I love new customers. I tell this to everyone all the time. If you want your business to thrive, sell to new customers. Okay? The more new customers you get on your database, the more past customer business you're going to have. If you don't have new customers coming in, you don't have past customer business coming in later, right? So think about that. And then we're going to talk about past customers. Some of these pain points were covered in the last two talks, flatware and cookware, which we'll go over when it comes to the past customer. So first off, we're going to talk about new customers. A lot of times when you guys have a script, there's pain points that are in there, but if you don't pay attention to the pain points that are being said to the customer and saying it at the right moment and at the right time, it's not going to connect with that customer. There's a lot of times in the introduction, like when we're introducing Cutco to them in the new script, what do? Cutco's all American made, it's guaranteed, it's been around since the 1940s, it's made only in New York, right? The thing is that when you just spout off that thing, there's nothing in there for them to gravitate or to think, okay, I need to be a part of this. They're just like, it's too good to be true, right? So what we do is we have to be real with them at this moment. So the first one that we have here, we have a forever guarantee because we know that every knife will go dull eventually. Unlike other knife companies that lie and say they will stay sharp forever. Okay? Yes, we know that our knives go dull. We're not going to lie to you and tell you that our knives are not going to go dull. How many times do you guys have customers say, oh, well, they told me that the knives are going to stay sharp forever, and they went dull within 3 months? Correct. So think like the customer. When you tell the customer, hey, we have a guarantee, our knives stay sharp 7 to 10 years, blah, 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 what are they thinking? Yeah, right. This kid's just giving me a load, right? So what you do is you use this pain point, this line right here, and then they start identifying, okay, they're telling us that their knives are going to go dull. And when their knives go dull, guess what? They're going to fix them for free, right? Next one that I have here, the boys will be boys clause. If you misuse, abuse it, we will fix it for free or replace it. Now, the reason why you say that is because they're thinking, well, what if my husband uses it as a screwdriver? What if my kids go outside and chop down a tree, right? This is things that are going through your customer's mind. They're like, okay, so does that cover when my husband's not doing it right? Yes, we have a boys will be boys clause. You say that right there to the customer so that they can identify that we are covering that. We are fixing the problem. We are the solution that you're looking for in a knife set. Next one I have double D edge and straight edges. These are important. Serrated edges. I get in trouble all the time because reps tell me, Curtis, quit saying our serrated edges. And I said, yes, the reason why I call them serrated edges is because our customers don't care if they're called a double D edge, okay, or a serrated edge. They still think it's serrated. When they look at it, how many of our past customers go, yeah, the serrated ones, they're amazing. Okay, I just want to go, oh, like just dagger to the heart, right? It's not serrated. Doesn't matter. Customer thinks it's serrated. So what do? I go, our serrated edges, right, which are actually not serrated, but they look serrated, right? And the customer's like, well, they're serrated. How many of you guys have had that conversation when you're at the booth and you say, well, these are our double D edges. They're not serrated. And the customer goes, no, they're serrated. They look serrated. Well, cover that pain point right away, right? These are serrated edges, even though they're not. They actually are cut or ground differently. So they look serrated, but they actually don't cut like a serrated edge. Then you don't have that customer arguing with you. You already covered that pain point, right? Most people hate their knives at home because their knives rip and tear the foods and cause a mess, right? Earthquake effect. Mrs. Jones, you know that earthquake effect, right? And they're like, oh, I hate that, right? Anytime you make that customer feel disdain or hate towards something they already have, golden. Okay, give me your credit card, swipe here, off you go, right? Straight edges. The most powerful edge that Cutco has is our straight edge. Just so you guys know, straight edges are the one thing that knife companies do not talk about. And the reason why they don't talk about their straight edges, because straight edges go dull really fast, right? If not used properly, what happens to a straight edge? Dulls almost immediately, right? And the thing that's nice is that when you're doing your pain points, this is great because you can even tell your customers. Have you ever noticed that when you see a professional chef on TV use this knife here, point at the chef knife, they cut meat. What do they immediately do on TV after they cut meat with that knife? They sharpen it, right? You guys ever watch Chop Kitchen or you guys watch any like Bobby Flay things? He'll cut his meat really thin and then he'll sit there and he'll sharpen it right after to cut up his fruits and vegetables, right? It's because he wants to hone that edge in because he knows it's dulling. Why wouldn't you tell your customer that, right? Already identify the pain point and then move on with it, right? Our straight edges are not put on by a machine, unlike other knife companies which stamp their blades on and only stay sharp 2 to 3 months. People think, and then, right, we just covered that. Okay, ours are sharp like samurai swords. We actually hone it, buff it, hone it, and it goes to another person, and then they do the same thing so that we get literally the sharpest straight edges out there. Cool? Next thing I have here, closing, pain points. You guys want to close faster? Who doesn't, right? I hate when it takes 30 minutes for a customer to give me their credit card, okay? Because I could have had 3 other ones in between that, right? And that's the way that I think, and that's the way that you should think as well. The faster you can get them in, get them out, the more money you're going to make, right? And that's the way I think. Close faster. You must use a pain point that creates a reaction at the end of your demo. So I listed the big one, the fat one that I've always told people that they have to do, and people forget to do it in their approach. And I'm going to teach you guys some things right here that's going to be money, okay? Just so you know, Cutco is not cheap. We're expensive. Cheap things are not good, and great things are never cheap, right? There's 2 reactions that we get. First one goes, oh yeah, I know this stuff is not cheap. Boom, give me your credit card, out the door. Close them, right? You guys have had that customer. If you use this phrase, they'll go, oh yeah, these are expensive. And then they're waiting for you to tell them the price. You give them the price, out the door they go, right? Now, the one that a lot of people say is the next one. Well, how expensive is it, right? I love when people say, well, how expensive is it? Because that either tells me, A, they don't understand the value of Cutco, so you guys can write this down. They don't understand the value of Cutco, or B, they don't know how expensive it actually is, okay? So I have this right here, so you guys can write it down. Ask them this question. If they say, well, how expensive is it? You say, well, how expensive do you think that set is? Then that customer goes, well, I think it's like $400. Well, Mr. Jones, you're way off the mark. That set is way more than $400. We're the #1 product of its kind. Do you really think that we're going to charge you $400 for our basic set of knives? It's been the #1 bought knife set in America since the 1940s. You're out of your mind. Think 3 times that, and you'll be right about that mark. Okay? Now, if that customer says, oh, that set, it's probably about like $1,000. Yep, you're right on the money. Right? The reason why this is important for you to ask that question is because that customer is telling you how much they're willing to spend on a set of Cutco. And I love this because when I say to the customer, oh, $400, you know that that's what they're willing to give you today for a set of knives. So guess what they can afford? An ultimate set. Right? oh, $400? Yeah, that's this set over here times 5 payments, interest free, right? Then the customer's like, oh, I can have that for $400, right? Because they're telling you how much they want to spend, right? They say $1,000, that sets $1,000, they're right on the mark, close it, right? Because that's what they're willing to spend. Okay, the 5-pay option becomes even better because if they think that sets to $1,000, well, guess what? We have an option where you can only pay $200 today for 5 months interest free, right? Then that customer's like, okay, not only am I spending less today for this set of knives, but I get to try it out for 30 days. If I don't like it, I can send it back. They give me back my $200, and I'm really out nothing, right? That's why I said if they say 400, that's the signature set, right? With tax. Try it out for, try it out for 30 days. If you don't like it, send it back. It's only $400, right? And the thing is, you tell them that too, okay? $200, you're going to spend $200 at this show on random stuff that's not going to last you forever. You're not going to use it every single day, and I guarantee you it's not made in America. Because see that product over there? Not American made. That product over there? Not American made. That thing over there? Not American made. Right? And then what do you think that customer's thinking? Credit card, please. Right? Very important that you use that. That's how you sell new customers, right? That's why I love when they say they got to think about it. I'm like, okay, well, when you think about it and you're walking around this show, just remind yourself when you're about to give someone $20 for something, ask yourself, is it American made? Will I use this every single day? And is it guaranteed? And if you make it through this show by finding something that's like that, you come back and tell me. And guess what? They'll come back and they'll give you their credit card and they're like, you're right. Everything here is not good, right? Okay. Awesome. So that's new customers. These pain points helping you guys identify it? Okay. Next thing that I have right here is past customers. Most past customers understand the quality of Cutco. Okay, we know that. Our job is to sell them everything that we make and get it in their kitchen. Not only their kitchen, but their family's kitchens and their kitchens and their kitchens and their kitchens and their kitchens. Okay? What we do as reps is we only think about that one person that's in front of us and solving their problems. Well, guess what? Their family has problems, and their friends have problems, and their friends have problems. And that's because they don't own Cutco. Okay? So, we have lots of programs, okay? And I listed them off here, okay? And then we're gonna go through those programs. Past customers are easy money. I call them low-lying fruit, right? They're easy to take money from. The reason why is because they've already bought Cutco. They know the value. They know how expensive it is. They love it, right? So I have right here. Remember that not only do they love Cutco, but they love giving Cutco to other people, okay? Our job is to show them, not sell them, okay? So write that down. Show them, not sell them. Remember, people know Cutco as what? A knife company. So remember that since we're a knife company, we should be showing them knives first and then moving on to the other stuff, right? So first thing I have is the upgrade. Next thing I have is the family program. The reason why I go upgrade family program, knives, right? And then what I do is I go into the flatware and then I go into the cookware, right? Because flatware and cookware is not normally what they're looking for, right? Knives, easy layup, okay? First thing, upgrade. Have you added onto your collection since the first purchase, right? How are those knives being stored? Thing that I put right in there after I asked that question, Mrs. Jones, if you owned a Bentley, would you put it outside underneath the tree where the birds can poop on it? Or are you going to put it in the garage where it belongs? Right. The solution is our upgrade program. Okay? Many customers add to their collections every year, which we love because they end up spending 3 times or 2 times the price for their set. I would love for you to buy these 3 pieces, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you this. You're going to end up spending a lot more than you need to. Okay, here's our program. Our upgrade program is the smartest and best way to save money in the Cutco world. Use that line every time. Who doesn't like to save money? If you don't like saving money, come up here and give me your credit card. Okay, I'll help you spend it. Right? Family program. A lot of people ask family program. I only have like a couple minutes, so I'm just going to go over this really fast. Okay. This one I love saying. Whose house have you gone to that you are not impressed with their knives? Okay. There's so many times where they go, oh, I hate going over to Jill's house because her knives suck. Right? And your customers will tell you that. Yes. So we actually have a program that's designed for you to help her out by solving her problem so that when you go over there next time to prepare the food for her, at least you'll have one Cutco knife. And you could just say it's like your loaner knife. You just gave it to her as a gift. But you know that when you go over to her house, at least you have one of your favorite knives that you can use when you're there. Right? Have you ever taken your knives or threatened, right? Use that word, threatened, to bring your knives to a family member's house? Oh yeah, Thanksgiving, I hate going over to my mom's because she doesn't have the right carving knife. It's awful. Well, we have a solution. It's right here, this little booklet. It's the $1 million booklet. What would you like to get her, right? Now, these next ones are fast, flatware. Obviously, Kareem, amazing job today. So he did all of this for us. One that I have here, one thing we notice in our kitchen is that our spoons somehow always come up missing. Your customers will shake their head and they're like, yeah, isn't it weird? And the thing is that when they say that, I go, yeah, that's why we have the same pattern. It'll never go away. It's not like those other ones where you have a hodgepodge, where you have mismatch. You don't want that, right? One thing that I have right here for cookware, because I'm being waved off, is what is your cookware situation right now? Do you want to see someone unload on you in a quick hurry? Use that pain point, because it's either, oh, my pans are amazing, let me just tell you, and then you're like, okay, stop, I don't even want to talk to you. Right? How many of you guys have done that? Oh, I have this and I have this and la la la. Just wasting my time. Right? If they go, oh my God, my pans, they're awful. Right in. Right? So what I want you guys to do is just realize that when you guys are going through your programs and your approaches, that the best way to sell is to create a problem so that your customers have to buy something or they want something from you, okay? If you guys can identify these and you guys can throw these out at your customers really quickly, fast, okay? Like objections, instead of like handling objection, you know how fast these guys were up here the other day? You should be doing this with your pain points. Throw them out there, take them, throw them out there, take them, right? Okay, you got to have the whole Cutco kitchen. Give me your credit card. Thanks. So thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll talk to you later.